hold on. Cut the music. Guys, why is my Goldwing leaking all over my garage? Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a discussion around if you have oil leaks after getting your oil changed. This could be yourself in the garage, or it could be from the dealership or mechanic. I've read online there's been occurrences of this in either case. So just kind of want to go over what's going on with my situation, because I am or was experiencing an oil leak. So generally when you have this, it could be from the clutch filter cover right there, or it could be from one of the drain plugs relative to a crush washer. So as I say in the 4,000 mile oil change, there's two of those, or three drain plugs. There's two right there in that shot. Or it could be coming from somewhere around your oil filter. So let's talk more about what my issue was and how I finally found it and resolved it. Okay guys, so just a quick review of what you get when you order a kit from Honda, or if you go to your dealership, on what you would need to do your oil change. So as we talked about in the other video, there's three drain plugs. There is a clutch filter. So this is the 2021 Goldwing DCT. So you have to replace a clutch filter like that. And that's underneath the housing that I was showing just moments ago in the video. They also give you this gasket that you can use to replace if needed. So you need to inspect that. When I did the oil change, I inspected that gasket and it came out easily. There's that clutch cover. Some videos or some vloggers say that they have to use a screwdriver or something to remove that cover. When I took out the 8mm bolts, it just fell right out. I mean, it was real easy. So but I did run my finger along that gasket and make sure that it was intact and didn't need to be replaced. So some people I hear say that when they have their oil leak problem, it's around that housing, and that's what I would suggest is either yourself or your mechanic, they didn't inspect and possibly need to replace that little gasket that's on that housing. So in any case, I had no issue there. I had, I put the crush washers back in. This is an example of one that I had left over. And I had no issues around the drain plugs, no leaking there. So what I found was I was leaking around the oil filter itself. So as you guys recall, if you watched the video, and if you haven't, please go back and watch that video. I put in an aftermarket high flow filter that I've used many times in many applications. This is my first oil change on the Goldwing, and never had an issue with them. But I also, as you recall in that video, I speak to how incredibly tight the filter is, or was. The factory installed oil filter. I mean, luckily I had purchased this tool. I've got a couple of these that are plastic, but this one's actually metal that I got from the dealership. And as I say in that video, thank goodness, because I would have never broke that thing loose without this tool. It was unbelievable. So in the filter that I installed, as I showed previously, it's got a little nut on it. So, but I've always hand tight oil filters, just in all applications, vehicles, motorcycles. But that's where it was spraying from, and it would begin to leak at around 3,000 RPM. There'd be enough oil pressure to cause it to breach, and There's a pretty good spray. You know, my intro part of this, you know, I kind of showed this after I cleaned it up. I didn't video it. It was actually oil everywhere. But I've got, you know, you can still see the stains. But in any case, so I got to thinking, I was like, man, you know, I wonder if I should just go and get the factory filter. So, I mean, who knows? You know, maybe I just got a bad oil filter. You know, things happen. And I definitely wasn't going to tighten it down any further. I was a little nervous about that. So, so I did. So I went back to the dealership and I got my the factory filter that's going to go on there. And I kind of noticed right away how loose the gasket is in the factory filter. Look at that. I could pull that right out. I don't know if most oil filters are glued in. I mean, I've never really had an issue. I never even really noticed, honestly. I mean, you just, you know, take the filter off, put the other one on. Pretty straightforward. And I noticed also this little verbiage that they have on here in a couple different languages. Make sure old O-ring is removed. And typically the O-ring comes with the filter when you take it off. But like I said, it was animal tight. And I didn't record this part, but basically I went in and removed that oil filter, the one I just installed. And guess what? Just fell out and into the pan. So for the first time, and I'll provide a list here of how many bikes I've worked on. I'll leave the cars out, but I've never had this happen. So this filter from the old filter, and I did not, you know, inspect it as the little note says. I just wasn't, and plus, you know, I'm recording and I'm new to this as well, the video part. But this guy was up in there still. And when I assume it was stuck up in there like that. And when I pulled out the new filter, this thing just fell into the oil pan. So, you know, I went to, and I was going to put the factory one back in, this new one here that I went and got. But I decided to put the high flow back in. And thus far, I've not got it to leak. There's a little bit of residual that's kind of, you know, made its way down because, like I said, when it leaked, it sprayed. You know, it was at an oil pressure around 3,000 RPM that would cause it to breach. So it kind of sprayed the underbelly of the bike. So, any case, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I mean, I still say that, you know, it's always better to do your own maintenance. You know, just pay attention. You know, and that way you kind of get a feel for doing this kind of work. I mean, obviously you can save yourself a lot of money, but I still feel, you know, for this kind of work, it's not that hard. And if you have the right tools for the job and the right components, so I don't want to discourage anyone. But yeah, that was amazing. That was an absolute amazing thing. And right now the Goldwing's not leaking anymore. So my baby is intact. Okay, so this experience is going to lead to my next video of how to measure the oil in a Goldwing and top off the oil. I don't think I lost that much. I'm probably less than a quart down. But if anyone's familiar with the maybe it's 2018 plus Goldwing, there's a couple questions around how do you measure the oil. You know, can you do it on the center stand? You know, how do you hold a bike upright and make sure the measurement's right? So that'll be the next one because I want to make sure that, you know, I've got a good level after working through this concern, and I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.